So good day, sir. We are the Group 8 of BSIT-NS-2CD and D. We are here to present and show the evolution of computers from the first generation up until the fifth generation. As you can see on the screen, the primitive people used the first counting device. Earlier, people used their fingers, stones, bones, and pebbles as counting tools to do calculations. More computing devices were developed as the human mind and technology improved with time. The first use of the word computer was documented in 1613, referring to an individual who carried out calculations or computations, and the term persisted in being used in that sense until the middle of 20th century. So the first generation started from 1942 to 1955. The second generation started at 1955 to 1964. The third generation started at 1964 to 1975. Fourth generation started at 1975 to 1989, and the fifth generation started from 1989 to our present time or year. On this slide, you can see there is a table. It shows that with some generation features, including the time period, processing device, memory, language, operating system, and example. You can pause the video to read the table or to first generation computers from 1945 to 1956. First is the vacuum tubes, where primarily responsible for the large size of devices and the enormous amounts of heat that they release despite of large cooling units. Here are the examples of first generation computer. One is the ENIAC, or the Electronic Numerical Integrator and Calculator. The Electronic Numerical Integrator and Calculator, ENIAC, was the first all-electronic computer. It was constructed at the Moore School of Engineering of the University of Pennsylvania, USA, by a design team led by Professor J. Presper, Eckert, and John Mackley. Second example is the EDVAC, which is the Electronic Discrete Variable Automatic. A major disadvantage of ENIAC was that its programs were wired on boards, which made it difficult to change the programs. Dr. John von Neumann later introduced the stored program concept that aided overcome this problem. The basic idea after this concept is that a sequence of instructions and data can be stored in computer's memory to direct operation flow automatically. Then the last example is the UNIVAC, which is known as the Universal Automatic Computer. The Universal Automatic Computer, UNIVAC, was the first digital computer that was not one of the kind. Many UNIVAC machines were manufactured, but first of which was installed in the Census Bureau in 1951 and was used continually for 10 years.
Second generation computers, 1956 to 1963 AD, the transistors. The interest in computer technology got fast after the first generation computers. It was the generation of transistorized computers. Transistors replaced vacuum tubes from the first generation computers. As a result, first generation computers were replaced by second generation computers. Examples of second generation computers. First, IBM 1401 used in business application. The 1401 IBM computer may be operated as an independent system in conjunction with IBM punch card equipment or as auxiliary equipment to IBM 700 or 7000 series systems. Honeywell 200. This introduced to complete with IBM's 1401, the H2000 to H200 was 2 or 3 times faster, and with software support, most of the time could execute IBM 1401 programs without need for their recompilation or reassembly. The Liberator marketing campaign exploited this compatibility and was credited in later Honeywell publicity statements with stalling the sales of IBM 1401 machines. Number 3, CDC 3600 used for scientific purposes. The CDC 3600 had 32,748-bit words of magnetic core memory and supported a Fortran compiler. This is the third generation computers from 1964 to 1971 AD. Integrated Circuits, ICS. Its period was around 1964 to 1971. Third generation computers were characterized by the invention of integrated circuits. IC is a silicon chip made from quartz where multiple transistors were placed over it. Robert Noyce and Jack Kilby developed IC at Texas Instruments in 1958 to 1959. IBM 370. The IBM System 370 S370 is a model range of IBM mainframe computers announced on June 30, 1970 as the successors to the System 360 family. The series mostly maintains backward compatibility with the S360, allowing an easy migration path for customers.
Microprocessor. The Intel 4004 chip hold all the components of a computer or central processing unit chip or CPU. Input and output controls. Memory unit on a single chip called the microprocessor. And microcomputers were introduced. The Apple II, stylized as Apple, is an 8-bit home computer and one of the world's first highly successful mass-produced microcomputer products. It was designed primarily by Steve Wozniak. Steve Jobs oversaw the development of Apple II's foam-molded plastic case, and Rod Holt developed the switching power supply. The IBM personal computer, or the Model 5150, commonly known as the IBM PC, is the first microcomputer released in the IBM PC model line and the basis for the IBM PC compatible de facto standard. A desktop computer is a personal computer designed for regular use at a single location on or near a desk due to its size and power requirements. The most common configuration has a case that houses the power supply, motherboard, and board with the microprocessor as the central processing unit, memory, bus, and certain peripherals and other electronic components. A laptop or a laptop computer or notebook computer is a small portable personal computer or small PC with a screen and alphanumeric keyboard. Laptops typically have a clamshell form factor with the screen mounted on the inside of the upper lid and the keyboard on the inside of lower lid.
So these are the references that we got or retrieved to present the evolution of computers from the first generation up to the present generation. Thank you for watching and listening to our presentation. I am Desena Wendy with my co-members Karangkong Benedict and Ponce Jesus Victor.